Okay, now we're going to fill out our perimeter and area foldable. And so it should be a blue foldable and look something like this, perimeter and area on one side. So if you stack them up, circles on the bottom, then trapezoid, then parallelogram, then rhombus, you'll have them in the right order, and we can just go ahead, fold them up and staple them, and then they'll be ready to fill out. Okay, now that we've got our book all put together, let's go ahead and fill it out. So on the first flap here on the top, I want you to write these definitions. They're just a reminder of what perimeter and area are. Perimeter is the distance around the outside of the shape. So if you think about it, that's what you would walk. So if I said walk the perimeter of the building, you would walk around outside the building, and that distance would be your perimeter. Area is how much space the shape takes up. How much does it take up on the table? So let's start with a square. So if our side lengths are S, remember a square, all the sides are congruent, so they're all the same. I have 4 sides, so to find my perimeter, I can just multiply 4 times my side length. To find the area of a square, again, area would be, this side times this side. Well, that would be the same as S squared. Now on to rectangle. So with a rectangle, we have 2 sets of sides that are congruent. The top and bottom here are congruent, and the left and right sides are congruent. So to find the perimeter, I'm going to multiply the width times 2, and I'm going to multiply the length times 2, and then add those 2 together. To find the area, I just multiply these 2 numbers together. For triangles, there's lots of different types of triangles, but this same concept is going to work on all of them. To find the perimeter, we just add the 3 sides up together. In order to find the area, this is a little more complicated. Our area is 1/2 base times height. And here you can see the height is inside the triangle. Here the height is outside the triangle. And we could even have it, even where it's not even on the triangle. We have to make sure the height is perpendicular to this baseline right here. A rhombus, again with a rhombus, it's kind of like a square. All the sides are the same. So if I just multiply this side length by 4, I can get my perimeter. To find the area of a rhombus, we have 2 different diagonals inside our rhombus. So we just would do 1/2 times the first diagonal times the second diagonal. Parallelogram. Parallelogram, the perimeter is very similar to the rectangle. We have 2 sets of congruent sides. So I just multiply this side times 2, multiply this side times 2, and then add them together. To find the area, again, it's the same as a rectangle. We just need to make sure this height is perpendicular. So it's going to be base right here times height. For a trapezoid, to find the perimeter, we're just adding all those sides together. There's no special trick for that one. To find the area of a trapezoid, it's a little bit more complicated. We have 2 bases on the trapezoid, and those are the 2 parts that are parallel to each other. So it could be top and bottom. If it's turned, it could look a little differently. So just keep that in mind. And our height has to be perpendicular to the bases. And so it would be 1/2 times B1 plus B2 times our height. Circles, we're not using a lot of circles right now. We're really going to get into that towards the end of Geometry B. But here's some basic formulas for you. Circumference is the same as perimeter. We just call it circumference when it comes to circles. And the circumference is 2 pi r. And to find the area of our circle, it's just pi r squared.